Phoenix Wild, a Black American YouTuber that has repatriated to Tanzania with her 3 little ones and her husband. And she just recently did a video on polygamy and captivity. She said in one of her statements that the Black man is genetically designed not to be with one woman. It is in his DNA to have multiple women, and that we have to accept the fact that monogamy is not the way to be in a relationship. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that, so stay tuned. Welcome back to my channel, Finish the Race VL, aka Victory Lap. I am Liz, the host of this channel, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Obviously, you want to hear about what Phoenix Wild had to say in her most recent video about polygamy, marriages. And I thought it was a very intriguing topic to discuss because I've always wondered how the dynamics of that had worked. And is it a healthy relationship for everybody that's involved? The husband, the multiple wives, the children, just everything. And I just personally have not seen an example of a healthy polygamous marriage. And so with her bringing this topic up, I said, oh, this is interesting. You know, I'm a subscriber of hers. And I've seen other female YouTuber who tried to, talk about the polygamy topic. And yet I felt like that I felt like they wasn't really living the life, It's like, okay, I hear you talking about it, but I don't see you actually in that situation for me to understand of how a polygamy marriage really works, right? You're saying that it's good for the family, it's good for the man to continue on with his seed with multiple women, it's good for the lineage, the African, family lineage and stuff like that, that it can be passed on in generations. And I get that, but at the same time, what are the other dynamics of it? Is it healthy? Does it cause friction between the wives? Do you have a healthy relationships with all of the wives? Do the children have healthy relationships with the other, siblings, half siblings in the marriages? I want you to know every little thing. Right now, let's go into the video so that you can see what I'm talking about.
So yeah, let's jump right into it. First and foremost, this will be another video specifically for Black men, but this video is for my sisters. I just want to start off by reminding you all that whether you guys want to hear this or not, I just want to remind you and let you know that monogamy, the lifestyle of monogamy, is not natural for the Black man. It's not a characteristic that was designed for him.
Talk about monogamy and how it was not natural for a Black man to be with one woman. It's not in his characteristic, or he's not genetically designed to be with one woman, and that how we have to understand that and to accept that, and that monogamy is not natural. This is something that has been taught in the Western world or by the white man. This is not something that our ancestors practiced, years ago in Africa. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts about that in the comment. My personal thought is it differs from that, because my father said that he grew up in a polygamous marriage, in a polygamous household, and he told me the dynamics of that, how it really was dysfunctional. The women, the wives became jealous of one another, or even neglected by the husband, because the husband probably showed more favoritism to one other wife versus the first main wife. Then the children may have been neglected or not treated so well by the other wives and stuff like that. He talked about how the children sometimes would be pitted against one another. You know, jealousy would come along, envy would come along. Then he said just growing up, even as an adult, it still became an unbalanced, unhealthy relationships with the siblings, with them even being adults at the same time. He said that after seeing what his mother had went through with the hurt and pain, how she was neglected and almost to the point abandoned, by my grandfather, because he chose more favoritism towards his other younger and more, I guess, desirable or beautiful wife, or or whatever. You know how men are. They want to trade in a old car for a new model, and so it really hurt my grandmother. And I remember when I visited Nigeria for the first time when I was 24 going on 25, and I saw that dynamic. I saw that relationship. I saw the hurt in her eyes. I saw how she would be angry, how she really didn't. She kind of looked up at him or whatever. And their house is like literally side by side from each other. And I'm going to be living in her house once I move to to Nigeria. So even with me witnessing the animosity that she had towards him, and in her ripe old age, it kind of hurt my heart to say, wow, she's still holding on to that bitterness, to that hate, to that hurt. And you can tell that she loves him, because why would she still show that type of emotion? At this point, you would think in your life, and you're in your 70s or 80 at that time, was like, hey, life has moved on. But to see that hurt that was still in her lets me see a glimpse of what the polygamy marriages can be like if it's not a healthy one. My dad experiencing firsthand on what he went through, he decided for himself that he did not want to be in a polygamous marriage, and that he wanted to be in a monogamous marriage, and he wanted to have one wife and have his children from one husband and one wife, and under one household. Nothing is split up, no confusion is there. Everybody is in one house, and it was a healthy relationship. Now, of course, every relationship is going to have its rockiness, but he definitely didn't want to go put his children through what he had went through as a child. So I don't believe it's true that it's in a man's DNA to not be monogamous. I believe it is a choice that one makes if they want to have multiple partners or not. Everybody needs to find out what fits for them to make them happy in their relationship. If majority of the men feels like that, hey, I want to have multiple women, then you need to find a woman who can agree with that type of relationship, and so there won't be any confrontation, there won't be any type of jealousy, there won't be any envy, no emotional distress involved, wondering why is he not with me, why does he choose to be with everybody else. I think it's only fair that if you choose to have a polygamous relationship, just be honest with your partner. But I do not believe that it's in the DNA for a man to want to be with multiple women. I believe it is a choice that a man makes. You either want to be with multiple women or not. That's your choice. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just be open and honest, and everybody will find the right partners or partner for them. So let's continue on to the next clip.
With that being said, very rare are any of our people living natural to what we were doing in the beginning of time. We're all living in captivity. And we're all living in captivity so deep that we don't even want to get out of captivity. A lot of you guys are still in a cage with the doors wide open, but the cage is so comfortable. You have everything you need. You have your system set up. You get to see how it plays out on television and in your society, people mimicking the same way. But there's a reason why monogamy is difficult, why it doesn't have a high success rate. And I won't say that being with one person is the negative aspect of monogamy. But it is the dissonance, it's the pretending, and the complete denial that Black men don't desire other women, okay? And the emotional toll that we have been programmed into, it makes that realization so painful.
Basically saying that we are living in captivity because we're not open to see the lies that has been told to us about what a relationship is supposed to be about, or what marriage is supposed to be about. We are not designed to be in a monogamous relationship because it's not in the DNA of a Black man. So we're so stuck what has been taught to us over the years in the Western world of conformity of marriage, and this is all that we know. But we need to open our mind and broaden our thinking process spiritually and know that this is how the ancestors did it, and this is how we should continue on with what they did from the past, right? And she said, living in captivity so deep to the point we don't want to get out of captivity. Still in the cage with the door wide open because it's so comfortable, being in our little conformity of one man, one woman, for the rest of our lives. And she said that is not natural. But I don't agree with that as well. I don't agree that I have to be in a captivity state of mind to believe or desire what I want for myself, right? Because there are people who actually live on the continent of Africa and grew up in that type of polygamous environment. And I know a lot of African women that has moved here in the US and realized that that's not what they want. They are not fulfilled, they're not happy. So either you're telling some women to say this is what you have to conform to because this genetically this is how it was designed, and that this is what our ancestors did. Keep in mind, our ancestors were no different than who we are. They are no gods to us. They are no, and I know this is going to upset some people, right? Keep in mind, I'm going to cut that out, but to say that we're in captivity in our mind because we're only doing what we know, we only living in the conformity of marriage based off what it was taught. Now, I know some of us do not follow the Bible, right? The good old Bible. I consider myself a spiritual person. I don't consider myself to be a part of any religion, but I do trust and believe in the Holy Bible, and I do trust and believe what it says. There are some spiritual things that has happened to me that others may not understand, just like I don't really fully understand what Phoenix Wiles is saying is, when she said it's in our DNA and in our genetics, and in the men, genetics to be with multiple women, because there's no way that they can be faithful to one wife because they have the desires and lust to desire a beautiful woman, right? So you have a choice to live the way that you want to live, just like our ancestors did. They lived the way they had lived according to that time and that era. Maybe this is what they had to do. Maybe this is what they had conformed to. But that doesn't mean because what some person who died thousands and millions of years ago, that's my call in life. That's what I'm supposed to do. I just don't believe in that. I really don't. And I know some people may not understand why I believe in this. I feel like if I'm not hurting anybody and I'm not trying to conform anybody to do something that they don't want to do, by all means, don't do it. But I don't feel like I'm in captivity because I choose to be with one partner. I believe that we have a choice to live our lives the way we want. We have a choice to have the type of relationships and marriage that we want. And I don't feel like that we should have to put labels on people or tell people that you're I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. You guys, you in the comments, tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you feel about that.
It's very painful and it's very confusing, especially when you attract a certain type of male, an alpha male, who knows that this is who he is beyond a shadow of a doubt. That's why you have cheaters, okay? Because these certain type of men, these alpha males, they can't help themselves, it seems. They can't help themselves to be with other women, even when asked, what the fuck, why for, right? They don't know. I don't know why I do that. I don't know if y'all seen the movie Baby Boy, but I love the line. I always think about that in my lifetime. Like, when asked, why do you need this other girl? Why you need to do that? And he's just so desperately like, I love you. Like, you're the mother of my children. I don't know why I fuck around with these other hoes. I don't know why I need that, but I do. I do it from time to time. It's just something that I do. Okay? I think there's definitely a different type of male. Some of you may come on here and be like, you know, my man is super loyal. He doesn't even want to do that. Da 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 da. I think that there are beta males. So it's a different category. There's the alpha and the beta that are more comfortable just nurturing one woman. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't have desires for women outside of his wife. That's a desire that's just innate. Because
okay, so she goes on and talk about the alpha male and the beta male and the theta male, and that an alpha male, a true alpha male, is not designed to be with one woman. Again, back to the black man, his DNA, his genetics, the way he's designed, his characteristic. So to be with a real alpha male, women have to accept that he's going to want multiple partners. He's going to lust after, you know, beautiful, desirable women, and we cannot conform ourselves to believe that he's just going to be with us for the rest of our lives. That is just not the way to go. And we have to wrap it around our minds that we have to let the emotions go, because that's not how we should feel. No emotions involved.
The superpowers of our genes make it impossible for the black man wanting to just procreate with one woman. It is natural for him to want to spread his seed with intention, right? With another family. Like, it's not an uncommon story for a black man to either have cheated or to have another family outside of his family. And it's only now that we're coming into this knowledge where we're trying to work on making it something that's acceptable, instead of something that's like, oh, this is like the mistress, or this is the baby mama, or this is the girl that he fucked around with, and like, you know, whatever. It's good because we have to share. For the progression of our people, we have to be in this mindset.
She also talking about how, you know, the true alpha male is just going to automatically want to be with other women. I have to disagree with that. I don't think being an alpha male is based on the characteristic or personality or behavior of you wanting to be with multiple women. Again, I believe this is a personal choice that one makes. Anybody can want. I've seen beta males who cheat, who desire multiple women. I have a notification that came up, who desire multiple women. So I don't think it has nothing to do about alpha, beta, theta male. It has nothing to do with it. Because I've seen men of all walks of, I'm telling you, strong men, weak men, you know, sensitive men, quiet men, they all desire women, some a little bit much more stronger than others, but it has nothing to do with being an alpha, nothing at all. So for me, I just felt like that is just not, it's miseducating the women that you're trying to speak to. And if we're going to be careful with that, if we're going to use our platform to educate or bring something new to the table for them to see, yeah. So let's move on to the next topic.
The family unit is being ripped from us. And what is happening is there is a very small amount of men available within our race. Okay? Most of our men are in jail. Most of our men are being murdered. And quite an uncomfortable amount of our men are being hijacked into the transgender community, into the gay community. Okay? That's 3 categories. That's 3 areas that our men are being sucked away into. And so the natural organic men are very, very rare. Now, I know we have been bred to think that we can do it all, that we can be that cook, we can be the sucking the dick all day, sexy clothes wearing, entertaining, interesting woman all the time. And while that looks nice for a 90-minute movie, when you live that every day and try to become that, especially with children, you end up running yourself into the ground because you're trying to be everything when nobody asked you to do that. Nobody asked you to be a supermom. Nobody asked you to satisfy a man's every need. But we do that because we don't want to be alone. We want to have security for our children, for our heart. And that's cool, guys. If you want to just like keep playing that scenario out, that's cool. But you're going to be left behind. That's what this is all about, the left behind movement. It's not about people teleporting out. It's about people moving into a new energy, into the new earth, and those who refuse to see the new opportunity, who refuse to step outside of captivity, who refuse to leave the land of Egypt and walk into the land flowing with milk and honey, you get left behind. And you can stay in your state of disease, emotional trauma, and helplessness. This video is not to try and twist your arm or promote polygamy or make you feel like your lifestyle needs to change. I can't do that. But it's me letting you know that you've been tricked. The wind always answers me and speaks with me during these videos, I swear.
About how most of the men in America is a small pool of men, okay? There's not enough men available for the women, the Black American women here in the U.S., right? Why? She said the 3 reasons why is because they either in jail or they're getting murdered in the street or they're being hijacked into the LGBTQ community. So therefore that brings down the number of men, the percentage of men that is available for women, and that we have to come into the conformity of understanding that we may have to just start sharing the little bit of men that we have left, right? So yeah, she was saying that we need to get outside of the box and start seeing that there are multiple ways that we can still get what we want in a relationship and in marriage, but we going to have to share our men. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know why I don't see nothing's wrong with that? Because that's your choice, right? If that was make you happy, then find that other sister wife that y'all can, get along and be able to create this strong family dynamic together as a team. By all means, do it. But you have to be with someone that is like-minded as you, that can understand on the same spiritual understanding as you. Everything has to be cohesive with that. And then I don't know how far it goes with the sex or anything like that, because sharing the different body fluids and stuff, I don't know how that works, how that would affect your pH balance. I don't know. These are more questions that I have to understand. How does it work, Phoenix Wild? I want to hear more about what you say. Is it working for you? Because I haven't seen it on your channel. If you can give me an example of that with your own personal experience, if you're going to educate us, for us to be open-minded, it would help for us to have something to reflect on, or to actually see and say, oh, okay, so that's how it works. And this is how you communicate with your sister wives. And this is how the children, everything, the flow of everything. We want to see that. But yet, if you're going to bring something to our awareness, give us the example of it. Let us see it. Are you living the lifestyle that you are teaching? If you are, can we start seeing that on your YouTube channel? I'm not saying this to be rude or anything like that. I'm saying this because I am inquisitive to know, can this really work? Because if it does, then maybe I would consider it, maybe, just maybe. If two grown adults come to an agreement on something, I don't see nothing wrong with that at all. But let us see the example of it. So let's just move on to the next clip on what she's talking about, okay?
There's too many single mothers with beautiful children who are just trying to play mom and dad, and it can be done, but we all know that the child has a different experience than they would if there's a male present. Like, take your mind out of the possessiveness, of the competitiveness, because there are other women like me who understand, despite all of the nasty shit that goes down between women. Like, I fucking get that shit. There's not that many niggas out here. I get why you feel like you want to take. But we don't have time for that energy anymore. We need to be asking, receiving, and giving. Because truly, nothing is in this life belongs to us anyways. So we might as well fucking finally work together. Imagine if we did this within our communities, how supported our black man would feel if he gets approached by two women who are like, hey, let's start the business of family. We want to support you, king. We're not trying to compete. We're not trying to do whatever. And then, like, it gets so freaking beautiful. Families get multiplied. Families are supported. Kings are supported, because we need to be elevating the black man right now. We don't need to be shunning him or fucking calling him a cheater or making him feel bad for being what he was created to be. And I say this from the deepest place of hurt and confusion and desperation in my own life. Okay, because y'all know y'all like to do this with influencers, whatever the fuck y'all want to categorize me as. That we live some kind of fairy tale life and things are somehow much easier for us. I'm having a chaotic time right now because I'm flowing through this energy. But I needed to tell you guys this message because we are no longer under that contract that our mothers were under. Okay, we've seen that play out. We've seen how that goes. It's time to do something different. Let's get fun, okay? Let's get the seriousness out of this, okay? What would happen if we joined with our best friends, right? You and your two other best friends. You guys know each other. You love each other. You respect. You know each other's needs and desires. You know how to support your girls, right? What happens if you take two of your best friends and all three of you guys go out and make yourself available to attract your dream guy together? Doesn't that sound so freaking fun? Like, forget about finding like a man first and like being like the first wife and like finding the sister wife or like doing all that mess. Like, forget that scenario. You guys have heard that before, right? That's like a typical thing that's done. But imagine like doing it like that. Be like, hey, young kings, it's me and my two queen sisters here, and we're looking for a man, an organic, natural man, to start the business of family. And let's take all these emotions out, all of this need that we have in our DNA to compete to the death with other women over a man, and instead like come together like that. That's the type of unity that I'm talking about.
But I'm for sure the majority of your audience don't know and really don't understand and don't know the dynamics of it and don't even know how to even merge into that. I mean, that is very foreign to us, right? I believe a lot of Black American female would not be emotionally ready for something like that. You kind of like have to kind of ease yourself into having a partner that you will agree with, that it's okay for him to have multiple partners or multiple wives. That's heavy on someone, especially when they have not grown up in that type of environment. Yes, you hear about it, but to actually experience that is kind of hard to digest, right? It's hard to digest that. And then she further moved on and talked about, wouldn't it be fun to have a girlfriend that you are all cool with, two other girlfriends, and y'all all agree and say, hey, wouldn't it be great if we can just share one man, that we can get everything from this one man, whether it be emotionally or whatever. Each one of them have their own specific desires when it comes to relationship, to make them content and make them to be happy, right? And then y'all all go off and search for this man. How you do that, I don't know. Is there a website for seeking other people that wants to be in a polygamy relationship, right? Is there a polygamy dating online dating website like Christian Mingle or Bumblebee? I don't know the name of these dating websites. I'm too old. I don't know anything about that. But do they have that out there? How do you find other like-minded people who wants to be in that type of relationship? I don't know. So if you're going to introduce these Black American females into that, you need to give them the steps on this is how you go about looking for stuff, because you don't want to just be approaching people and offend them by asking them these questions. And even men, there's some men who just don't prefer that, right? And that doesn't mean that they're not an alpha man if they don't want to be in a polygamous relationship. Maybe they just want to deal with one woman. Some men will be like, it's too much of a headache to try to deal with three of y'all. But who knows, if you have some three mature adults, that is not about confrontation and keeping, the family life in chaos, you might get what you want and what you're looking for. So, but yeah, she kind of like laughed about that and say, hey, wouldn't that be fun? And it's like, okay, well, show us how that worked, because I haven't seen it. Show us one of your friends that you get along with very well, and y'all agree that the husband that you have, y'all can kind of just make that, relationship work. I would love to see it. Have you done that before? That was one of your suggestions. And I would like to see if that works. We don't know. YouTube is a platform where we are gaining information about things that we may have never considered before. And we are open to hearing more about it so that we can understand it, respect it, and not make fun of it, and nor tear down what other people do that is working for them. Because I don't want to do that. Because if it's working for you, and it's helping the family dynamic and keeping the family together under one household where the children can see their father and mother under one household, that would be amazing. Because like you said, there are a lot of single mothers out there, but I believe those single mothers are the ones who put themselves in that position by choosing the wrong partners, right? Why would you put yourself in a situation where you're having sex with a man that you're not committed to? All right, if you were committed to him and you were married and it didn't work out, I don't see the fault in that, unless you had red flags before you married this person. You kind of knew that this person wasn't healthy for you. But at the same time, a lot of these women who are having children before marriage, that is on them, right? Because they make that choice for whatever reason, and that's something that they have to deal with personally, right? So again, I'm not bashing Phoenix Wiles. I am open to what she have to suggest and also to try to educate us. I felt like that it wasn't enough information for her to explain the whole dynamics of the whole polygamous marriage. If she had done that, then maybe we can kind of respect that. Now, I know she shut down the comment section in that video, and it's because I think she took it excuse me, I think she took it quite personal because some people just did not agree. But the comments were not negative. It was just comments that what people felt personally for themselves. Me, when I saw that, if I'm the one who did that video and I'm reading the comments, I would have been like, okay, I can respect how they feel because this is all that they know. But that doesn't mean that they're in captivity. That means that that's the choice and lifestyle that they choose for themselves. And we have to respect that, right? We can't tell somebody that you are in captivity because your mind is not open to receive other ways that you can be in a relationship. I think everybody have a personal choice on what they want when it comes to relationship. And I feel like there is nothing wrong with being in a polygamous marriage if that's what you and your partners choose to do. As long as you are upfront with your partner and they agree with you, by all means, do what is happy for you. Anyways, I want to hear you guys' thoughts about this topic. Are you against or do you support polygamy marriage? Would you even consider it if you have never been in one? Would you consider being in one, ladies? Let me know. Even the men down there, let me know. Do you believe that men should have multiple wives or multiple partners? Because why you guys desire to be with multiple women and not just one? I want to hear your thoughts, all right? Again, I'm not here to bash Phoenix Wiles. I think she brought up an amazing topic for us to be open to kind of consider different ways of having a relationship. I just felt that it wasn't enough information for us to understand what exactly that she was talking about. Has she broken down, given us examples of her own personal relationship with her husband and multiple wives to see the dynamics of that? Maybe that will be something that more people would consider and not judge in a negative way. Other than that, I thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for listening to me for this long. And then also, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. See you until next time. Bye.